Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was thinking the same line of questioning as my colleague here. In order to call for this, there has to be some justification that it's going to save money, I would assume. So what is that assumption? What types of savings are you hoping to achieve with a round of BRAC?
Well, BRAC always saves money. The question is, when's that break-even point? And as I said before, that break-even point, the point where you begin getting net savings, came relatively soon in the first 4 rounds. Later in the BRAC 2005 round, because it
right. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but
yep.
I am. I'm sorry.
No.
I got 5 minutes. But you are saying that we have to cut $487 billion with the Budget Control Act over 10 years, and so because of that, you're going to have BRAC in order to make up part of that $487 billion. So how much of that are you anticipating saving through a BRAC?
BRAC is a response to force structure cuts, and the force structure cuts are a response to both fiscal realities, the Budget Control Act, and to strategic changes.
Okay, so if it's not because of the Budget Control Act, it's because of force structure change, then won't we have a larger force structure still than before pre-9/11? But even with the drawdowns, we'll still have a larger troop force than we had then. So we needed to house them then. We needed to have a place for them to train. And so what has changed?
Well, we have 500 today. We have 500 fewer aircraft than we did after the 95 round. We calculated in 2004 that at that time we had 24% excess capacity in our infrastructure. You know, those were crude estimates, but we did those calculations, sent it up to you all in a report. That was 2004, 24% excess capacity. By our calculations, again, we think we reduced excess capacity in the 2005 round by only 3 to 5%. So we began with excess capacity. And I think you heard from, my colleague on the Air Force said that yesterday in another hearing. The force structure cuts will generate additional excess capacity. There's just no two ways around that, and that's what we need to respond to.
How much excess infrastructure do you think we have right now?
I mean, the only thing I can give you is this 2004 report. That's the best thing I have. We have not done that kind of analysis.
So you don't know how much infrastructure you have. You don't know how much savings you're going to have. You don't know how much cost this is going to have, and yet you're coming to us and asking for a BRAC?
You never know what your costs and savings from a BRAC round are going to be until you undertake it. You do have a sense that you've got. We knew in the late 80s that we had excess capacity. I don't know if we knew exactly how much. But we knew at the end of 1995 that we still had excess capacity. We began asking for, when I was still in the Clinton White House, we began asking for another BRAC round in 97, 98, and Congress finally gave us that in 2001. But because of changes in circumstances, 9/11 and the war in Iraq, the 2005 round didn't focus on cutting excess capacity. It focused on transformation of the Army. So we had some level of excess capacity even at the end of the 2005 round. And we can see that we're going to have more with the force structure cuts.
You would think there would be a cost-benefit analysis done from that. The information I have shows that the administration indicated services had between 15 and 20% excess infrastructure before 2005, yet they only closed 1% of the infrastructure. And so you should be able to say, okay, that we have 19% extra infrastructure, and here's X amount of dollars it's costing us, and here's how much we're going to save if we do it as some justification. So you don't have those figures?
Well, I can show you our 2004 report that shows that we had 24% excess capacity. I don't want to fall on my sword over the statistical techniques that were used to get that, but it was a reasonable estimate, 24%. The BRAC 2005 round eliminated, again, using similar techniques, roughly 3 to 5% of capacity. So that suggests roughly 20%. Now, if you want to, again, I mean, these are really rough numbers. We spend $55 billion a year on installations. You can take 20% of that as some
I think that would be
order.
helpful for all of us through this process if you give us more hard data. Thank you.